First of all, allow me to thank you once again for having me on this distinguished platform. Today, I would like to address the current situation in the Middle East and Turkey. First of all, since I'm located in Tel Aviv, I would like to provide you a brief information regarding the ongoing war here. Regarding the ongoing war here. Actually, today it's the 24th of June, and only a couple of hours ago, a new ceasefire was achieved. This ceasefire was violated, so it is very fragile. We really don't know if it will work or not, but we can say that this operation, Rising Lion, is considered as a milestone operation in Israel's history. It is considered a huge success. It managed to dismantle Iran's capability of enriching uranium, and all of the Iranian nuclear program was obliterated. And of course, it could not be possible without the United States. So we can see that the United States and Israel basically strengthened their very special relationship here. And of course, it has some ramifications also for the entire region. And in this regard, we can say that Iran, once upon a time, which was considered as a very strong country in the Middle East, now proved to be a paper tiger. We see that with its sophisticated intelligence and air power, the IDF eliminated the vast majority of the Iranian army and minimized its capabilities of launching missiles against the state of Israel. And obviously, the Israeli superiority eliminated Iran. And when we are now looking at the Middle East, now we are seeing two very important powers in the entire region. These states are Israel and Turkey. And of course, Turkey, looking at this war, of course, it also drew some very important conclusions. First of all, the Turkish administration understood that Iran is no longer be able to deter the state of Israel. And therefore, nowadays, the Turkish administration begin to see Israel as a rising threat against it. Actually, in last October, and also even a few days ago, the Turkish administration once again tagged the state of Israel as a national security threat against Turkey. And when they are looking at this current war, they underlined that Turkey had to make some adjustments for its own national security policy. So what are these? First of all, they came to the conclusion that they have to strengthen their intelligence to provide security for the senior officials of the government, if you like, the leadership. The second issue is the air defense. Now, the Turkish administration is putting its emphasis on the not the Iron Dome, but the Steel Dome system, as they market this in Turkey. And apart from that, Turkey also made it clear that it would invest in its ballistic missile program. It means that now, with this current war, Turkey felt very much threatened by the Israeli superiority, and seeing Iran's ability to launch these missiles against the Israeli cities. So what we understand is also Turkey is eager to acquire these kind of abilities. I would like to mention and underline that Turkey is a member of NATO, and even if it's a member of NATO, it sees no problem in engaging in a kind of a verbal rhetorical clash with the state of Israel, and It is not hesitating to tag the Jewish state as a national security threat. But we'll see what will happen. Uh, Also, I would like to analyze Turkey's position in the war. Since the war erupted, as it was expected, Turkey adopted a very pro-Iranian stance. It condemned the state of Israel and it tagged it as an aggressor state. Obviously, it did not surprise us. Turkey characterized its policy on the basis of pan-Islamism, on Islamic Brotherhood, and we already saw President Erdogan's historical speech only 2 days ago from the organization of the Islamic Conferences summit in Istanbul. He said that the destiny of Istanbul and the destiny of Tehran and Sana and Gaza are all the same. So, as we can see here, he is seeing this Islam as the common denominator between himself and the Shiite players like the Iranian regime, like the Houthis, and like the Hamas. So, this is a very problematic statement because it is far beyond spiritual brotherhood. This is an attempt of turning this spiritual brotherhood into an active alliance on the basis of religion, and the Turkish administration, including the Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan, made it very clear that they want to turn Organization of Islamic Conference into a body that could deter the state of Israel and also not only the state of Israel, but every non-Muslim state. So in this regard, also the European Union and other Christian countries, for instance, like Armenia, should be concerned about this issue. And if we look at the Turkish position, uh, verbally, yes, they do condemn, but we should also speak about the Turkish-Iranian rivalry. And in this regard, despite the fact that Turkey it is declaring its opposition against Israel's strikes in Iran, I should also underline that Turkey is also enjoying very much from the results of this war. At the end, Iran was humiliated, and due to the Israeli army's surgical airstrikes and the Israeli Mossad's, the Israeli intelligence's uh, very sophisticated operations, we could see that the vast majority of the Iranian military leadership were eliminated. And therefore, it turned Turkey as a superior power in the Muslim Middle East. And therefore, now we can say that Turkey feels much more confident and sees itself as the spearhead of the entire Muslim nations in the Middle East. And besides all these, I also would like to make some references for the Turkish domestic politics, and also it would be linked with the Turkish foreign policy. Nowadays, we are seeing that Mr. Erdogan is strengthening his power even more and more in Turkey. He already jailed the mayor of Istanbul, Ekrem İmamoğlu, and recently, he also jailed another important political figure, a very charismatic journalist called Fatih Altaylı, who is known as a very well-known critic of Mr. Erdogan for, you know, for due to an accusation. He was sent to prison. He is accused for calling for the assassination of the president, but still, I think this accusation cannot be justified an imprisonment. Uh, However, we can say that the Turkish president is strengthening his position at home. He's providing less room for pluralism and criticism at home. And why is it linked with the Turkish foreign policy? Because President Erdogan himself knows it very well that he is not going to be punished by the European Union or by the United States. Given the tense circumstances of the Russian-Ukrainian war, the Europeans are very much concerned they are very much concerned of the rising Russian threat. And they solely concentrate on Russia, and they do not want to see Turkey to rise as an additional headache for Europe. Therefore, they do their best in order not to anger the Sultan from Ankara. And since our Sultan, Turkish President Erdogan, sees these weaknesses, that he is not going to be punished or sanctioned because of these bold moves, so he is not hesitating and taking necessary decisions. And besides that, I also would like to mention that uh, also the same applicable for the United States. Uh, if the previous administration, if the Biden administration was giving so much importance to different ideals like democracy, freedom of speech, human rights, etc., the current administration of Donald Trump is not very interested in making an emphasis on these ideals. And since they are not putting their emphasis on these ideals, they are also not very much interested in punishing their allies like Turkey. The United States is very busy with cooperating with Turkey inside Syria for the first time ever since the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire, we can say, the United States or a Western power will be able to uh, penetrate into Syria. I only would like to remind you, with the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire, the French mandate was installed in Syria, and after the dissolution of the French mandate, Syria became a so-called independent state, and it turned into a satellite state first of the Soviet Union, then Russia and Iran. And for the first time ever, thanks to a member of NATO, Turkey, which has turned into the dominant power in Syria, now the Americans have the ability to penetrate into Syria for the first time. So Donald Trump, focusing on this reality, and he does not want to anger Erdogan. He sees him as a partner. He also likes him in person. He likes his style. We all know that Donald Trump likes strong leaders, charismatic leaders, and we can assume that also Erdogan is one of them. And therefore, again, the Turkish president sees this uh, Syrian venture, the rebuilding Syria, for instance, as an important opportunity for himself to strengthen his rule at home, because in case that he would punish the opposition circles, once again, he will not going to be punished by the United States for taking such actions. So when you do not see any actions from the EU and the US, obviously you can do anything you like. And Erdogan is also collaborating with Donald Trump in Syria. And therefore, for Donald Trump, it's a win-win situation. It is, it is far better for him to control Turkey with this kind of a reconstruction project that would pour millions of dollars to the Turkish economy. And he will be also able to penetrate into the Syrian territory. So it's a great opportunity for him as well. So, therefore, when we are looking at this big picture, we can definitely say that uh, all of the stars aligned. The strategic balance in the international relations in various arenas are allowing Erdogan to strengthen power at home, and I have no doubt that he will do the necessary reforms in order to run for an additional term. Today, the Turkish constitution is not allowing him to run for the third time. It is such a long story. It's actually, it would be his fourth time, but let us now stick to his version of the things that he insists that only after the public referendum he only now fulfilling his second term and not as the third term. Long story short, in the Turkish politics, now we are not seeing a political leader that can really challenge him. So he will most likely pave the way and for the new constitutional reforms, and most likely will compete in the elections in 2028. And if he will not be able to pass these reforms in the parliament, in, it means that if the Kurdish party, the Dem party, will not going to support Erdogan, so he will most likely declare a snap election, and in that snap election, again, he will be able to run for a third time. And most likely, we can say, he will be elected. Nowadays, we are seeing that all of the neighborhood, right, all of the Middle East is under flames. So he is saying that Iran, there is a war, right? There was a war, maybe. And Iraq, Syria, Israel, all of the Middle East is unstable. However, he is portraying Turkey as an island of stability, and he's saying if Turkey is not involved in these wars, because of the strength of the Turkish Republic, that other countries are deterred and they are not declaring a war against Turkey. So he is also using these wars in different theaters, also Ukraine and Russia, right? So look at the map and you're gonna find out that Turkey's also all of surroundings, is busy with different wars, and Turkey emerges here as an island of peace, we can say, and that the war is not penetrating, right? So therefore, his popularity is rising also at home, and in the long run, in case that he will be able to if he will be able to do whatever he really likes in Syria, if he will be able to implement his goals in Syria, and then lots of hot money would be poured in the Turkish economy. Why? Because the most important companies that would be reconstructing Syria are the Turkish subcontractors. The It's a very well-known secret that five companies in Turkey, the Mapa Holding, Kalyon, Cengiz, Limak, they are the ones who are making lots of money from Erdogan's pharaonic projects. And in this regard, most likely, again, these five subcontractors will be sent to Syria in order to rebuild it, and therefore lots of money would be poured in the Turkish economy. So, if you like, I can stop here now. And once again, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to that I could share my knowledge with this respected audience. Thank you so much.